Members, I would like to welcome everybody on board. The moderator for today's program is Betty Auma, the Chairperson, Education, Professional Standards and Discipline Committee of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. This evening, we would like to welcome the National Secretary for Education, National Secretary for Gender of the Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, Madam Jesica Avako, who is coming to help us today to talk about some of the barriers and some gender responsive pedagogy in the science, technology, and mathematics, engineering and mathematics. We are aware that women generally in the whole world have been a minority everywhere in all the sectors. Several programs have been brought on board to bring the women to active participation. And we are happy that in many sectors, we now see ladies coming up. We now have presidents of many countries who are now ladies. Our neighboring country, Tanzania, has a president who is a woman. We are very grateful for that. But still there is a challenge, especially in the education sector. Here we have very, very few ladies involved in the different programs. And when we roll it down to the secondary schools and in schools generally, you find girls are very, very few. And here we begin to wonder where the challenge is. It is the reason why today we are privileged to have Madam Jesica Avako coming to help us see through what could be the breaking barriers for gender responsive pedagogy in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I would like to welcome this evening proudly Madam Jesica Avako to take us through the evening's program. Thank you very much. Welcome, Madam Jesica Avako. Take on the floor.
Thank you, Madam Betty, our chairperson, for giving me this chance to share with you and the members who have already joined and those who are going to join us. I want to thank the Secretariat of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, the IT department, and every member who's joining us right now for this online program. My name is Avako Jesica, the National Secretary for Gender and Women Affairs for Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. As our chairperson for Education Committee has stated, this evening we are going to share with you about breaking barriers that we see in gender responsive pedagogy. Generally, we have challenges as per the girl child education in the country. We are going to have discussion together with you. We are going to share our challenges and problems as a family of science teachers in the country. Let's start by this first. We want to see the current state in STEM education in Uganda. According to UNESCO, we realized that this was a report that was already given to us by UNESCO. This is the source. That in strengthening gender responsive pedagogy for STEM in Uganda, we realized that girls are particularly underrepresented in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is STEM education in this country. We found out that there is a very low enrollment as per girl education is concerned, poor performance, and high numbers of dropouts, particularly with girls. And because of this, we want to share today with you, or you are going to share with us, what could be some of the challenges. Why at first we have big number of girls at lower level, and as we proceed, we find at higher levels, the number of girls are dropping at a terrible speed. You could be having some of the reasons why this happens. So we are looking at the current status. The first slide is showing us a report by UNESCO. I would request admin to take us the next slide. Yes. The next slide is trying to analyze performance in science. Performance in science per subject in terms of females and males. This was given to us by UNEB, that is the source. If you look at female entries for the science and mathematics have remained lower than that of the males. The candidature was 29.6 for mathematics, 6.1% for physics, 16.5 for chemistry, 15 for biology, and this was year 2022. We are going to compare these entries for some few subjects here. We got particular year, that was 22. I think if we were to get more years, the result may be the same. Looking at the female column together with the males, I want us to take a look at Sierra E, where we have subject, number of candidates, those who passed at the principal level, those ones who got A. Then we have percentage from those who got principal, E to A. And then we have the other side of the males, E to A, and then those who got scored A. Leaving alone history, economics, entrepreneurship, and so on, my interest was on religious education, where the number of girls on that particular year was 11,468. And those who scored the principal were 72.2%. And if you compare the 11,000 to the number of boys, boys were about 7,261. We can see that gap. If I go back, I looked at economics. The number of girls were about 10,200. Then boys were 16. We still see the number of there was not balancing. Now, if we take example of, or we sample about 3 subjects in arts, we'll realize the number of girls, the entry of girls is more compared to the number of boys for the same subject. Then, when you look at the sciences, particularly we have highlighted physics. Physics in 2022, we had 2,451 girls who sat, and the number of boys who sat that year were 10,543. We can see that big gap from 2,000 to 10,000, a very big gap. We take a look at chemistry, where girls who sat on that year were 6,631, and boys were 13. We can see that big gap between a girl child and a boy child. Similarly, if you look at biology, where girls, the entry was 6,379, and boys were 11,615. So we are trying to compare. We are looking at the number of girls to the boys for particular subject. So we realize that there is a big gap in science compared to the counterparts in arts. So we are asking ourselves, why is this? To you, the listener, we have taken you just through with some few subjects, but if you are to analyze them one by one, you are going to realize all the science subjects, the number of girls are very fewer compared to the boys. But in arts, the number is relatively higher in girls compared to the boys. So we are now asking, why? Please share with me what could be the reasons. What have you experienced in your school? Anyone online, please unmute, or you put you text on the chat. You share with us what could be some of the challenges that the girl child is facing or the schools are facing. Why this performance like this? Thank you very much. I'm waiting. Moderator, you'll help us to pick some hands that may be able to share with us.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
Members, this is an interactive program, and it is calling for all our participation. Feel free to unmute and share. You check on your button there, you get what is written, reactions. Tap on reactions. There are many options. You can raise your hand. If you want to raise up your hand, tap on it. I will see you and then pick you up.
So as we wait for them, as we wait for somebody to come online, maybe the moderator, I would request the admin maybe to first leave that the first slide where we had analysis of performance for some few minutes as we wait for other members to share with us. Thank you. As we make analysis, yes?
Members, the discussion which is on is, why are there few girls at high level of education compared to the boys? What could be the major reason? Is it the parents who are the cause? Is it the learners themselves? Is it the teachers who are not encouraging these children? Or it is a government policy which is derailing these learners from coming on? Can we have an interactive evening and share on this? And yet there are very many government policies, if I may re-echo, that have been put on to encourage girls to participate. Number one, there is a policy of 1.5%. If you go to the
for the girl child,
you're given 1.5%. That was meant to encourage girl child to participate actively, to joining institutions. Then there were also many other policies that were put on to help girl children and join the schools. But all these are being seen like it's not coming. I wonder why. So it is an evening that we should reflect on this, and together we encourage ourselves to see how we can bring the girl child on board. Anyone who is ready?
I think they're still preparing. Maybe we can go on.
I can see there is a communication from Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel, to a bigger extent, different career paths. Most girls tend to be more oriented towards administrative arts courses compared to their counterparts, the males, who are more inclined towards engineering and mechanical courses. This is from Daniel. Thank you very much. Daniel Bianci for giving your comments.
We thank him. Then other members will submit in later.
It's okay, continue.
Okay. We had asked why the number of girl child is dropping so high, and yet the counterparts, the number is high. We have some few reasons we'll put forward here. And I would request the admin to play for us a video clip here. Then we shall go through the reasons here later on.
Before you place,
Admin,
can I request Judith? I can see water. Judith,
Thank you very much.
can say.
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. This is Judith Kibwata, coordinator, Lamour District. We have a challenge. It is very true, according to the speaker. We realize that in the beginning, we receive a number of girls, and as they start senior 4, the population keeps on dropping. And it is very true that going to higher institution offering the science subject, the number of girls do really drop. Very few of them take up on the science subject, in particular my subject, physics. One of the reasons some of them believe they have that fixated mind that physics is very difficult or the science subjects are very difficult is for a selected few, which is, to me, I say it is a myth that these subjects are very few, and those days we believe that maybe they're for boys or for some selected people. Therefore, I say it is our responsibility to drive away this myth so that our learners, especially the girls, start taking up, and then they have that belief in themselves that they can work it out. With examples as the female science teachers. Then secondly, my district and my school is in a village of which the parents and the environment do affect the offering of this subject very much. The level at which the girls and the learners concentrate this subject, you find that in the school, a girl may be interested in the subject, but they lack what, like the laboratory. You find in a school, they're opening a A-level school, but they don't have a very good laboratory. They don't have every equipment necessary for these girls to take up in that subject. So most of the students are advised to take up the art subjects because the art subjects do not require a lot of the practical things, just reading and researching and so forth and so forth. So those things also do affect our learners very much. That is my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so
you.
much. I want to thank Madam Machiro so much for that submission, and the others will still send in their submission as we proceed. She has actually echoed all what we had, but here are some of the few reasons I have tried to outline. Number one is traditional gender roles. You find in most times in villages or at our places, you find some traditions believe that girls or women are supposed to be caregivers at homes, take care of families, and every culture has its belief. So if we do away with that, we shall bring the girl child on board. Many parents, as you've just said, that many parents have low expectations for girls in STEM, and this leads to less encouragement and support. So once a girl is not given that support, just like Madam Achiro has explained, then the girl will lose morale to take up sciences. We also realize that girls have limited exposure to STEM activities, and therefore we also have very fewer role models because many of the areas lack female science teachers. So if the role models are not there, it is going to definitely affect the girl child education as she offers the science. Then the teacher attitudes and the practices. You find many of us have biasness towards gender. Many times we teach, we think that sciences are supposed to be done by male. Even some of us or some male teachers end up saying that girls are not supposed to do mathematics. Physics is meant for boys. And therefore, if we have that biasness, we are going to make the girl child run away. We have curricula and pedagogy. In many times, the way science subjects are taught, sometimes we make the girl child run away because we do not use relevant things that the girls will pick interest in. The method we are using, the activities we design may not take the interest of the girl child. And because of that, you find whatever activity we design in a class can make somebody run away. That could be another reason why girls are running away from these sciences. Also, poverty and limited resources, because men are constrained, they have no access to quality education, particularly for girls in rural areas, just like Madam, you have put it rightly. In rural areas, these girls are suffering because of many areas that may need resource, and these resources are not there. So because of that, the girl child is at a disadvantage. Then we have early marriage and pregnancies that may cause another challenge, and this leads to dropout. And these days we realize there is a high dropout in schools. And if the child conceives, if the girl conceives, what next? This girl will go out of the school. Then we realize at the end of it all, the number of girls that we have are reducing compared to the male child. Therefore, we are trying to encourage ourselves in today's session. What can we do to keep the girl child in school? What can we do as the union? Because you are the union, I'm the union. What can we do to bring up the girl child, to keep the girl child in school, do the science, so that we're at the same level with the males? Can we proceed to the next slide? Before we go, there is a video clip.
Education of the girl
Please
child
let us play
seems
it.
to be taboo. The more we surrender these girls to go to school, the better for their future life, the better for your life of you, the parents. Even if the girl gets pregnant, don't kill or don't harass. That can be an accident which can be addressed, because this girl, if talked to, can produce the best results for you and for the nation.
That was an advice from a parent. As we teach, we need to find a way, how can we embrace science in the country so that all of us, not only the males, though we are looking at gender, we are realizing the men are heading, they are leaving many of the girls behind. So what do? Let's think in this session, let's share our ideas, just like what this parent has shared with us, so that we keep the girl child in school, we keep the girl child like education and the STEM program, so that we increase the intake at a higher level. Let's move on. And therefore, we're now asking ourselves, in the school where you are teaching, in the school where I am, in the district where you are, how many female science teachers do we have? I want to give this platform some few minutes to you. Please share with us. Are you the only female science teacher in your staff room? How many are you in the district? What can we do to increase the number? Are we at the same level with the men? This goes back to us. Let's try to share with us the percentage of female teachers at our schools. Back to moderator.
Thank you. Maybe I can take roll call right now. On this forum today, I have Madam Betty Awuwa, the speaker. is a female. We have the presenter who is Avako Jesica. Those are 2.
Yes.
We have Akiro Judith Chibwata. These are 3. Then
Yes.
we have Birunji Lillian. You're welcome on the forum today. Those are 4. Komagum, the other name is not there. Komagum, you're welcome. These are 5. And this is of the 16 members who are present here, we are 5. But this has come because of a big mobilization need, expecting all the female teachers to be present here today. But actively, we have only 5. I am teaching at Komboni College. At Komboni College, the teachers are around, we are about 70 of us. Of the 70, there are only 2 female science teachers. 2.
Wow.
The arts teachers, the female arts teachers, they are about 8. So 8 and 2 science teachers. Of the 70 in total, we are having only 10 ladies and 60 gentlemen. And this is a big school. There is another small school called Bishop Tarantino. It's a girls' school. I'm just giving this example. We have only 4 teachers who are females. Only 1 is a science teacher. The 3 are teachers who are females out of 27 teachers who are there. We could be having other schools which are there. Since if the floor is open, someone can give their what? Someone is here saying, this is Daniel is saying we are only male science teachers in my school, in A level in my school.
Wow.
So the real fact is there are very few science teachers. During the chat there, someone also commented that this is from Bierogaba Moses. He says, we are lacking role models, most especially in the education sector. That is, you will find a secondary school without female science teacher, especially in the discipline of physics, chemistry, and biology. So generally in the whole school, you find there is no science teacher who is a female, who is there to now give a role, to be a role model. Members, I would like to share at my diploma level, at such a certain NTC, I don't want to mention its name, I was the only female teacher, sorry, student, the only female student out of 29 of us in the class of physics. And I can recall whenever I would come for lectures, my colleagues had made me the assistant coordinator for the class. But I would have this physics lecturer whom when he comes, instead of greeting the class and saying good morning, he begins to say, I hate women. You see, women also, they want to come. Like this one, where does she want to go? He would tell me so many things. And here I can reflect back and say, if I was this weaker model of a woman, I don't think I should have continued. I'm giving this example with annoyance because it is the truth. And I come back to say, dear colleagues, let us be role models. And let us not only wait for females to be role models to the girl child. I want to say that all of us play a very, very big role in bringing up the learners we have in class. And at this point in juncture, the discussion here is on the female, but generally, the learners we have in class, whether female or a gentleman, they are going to be brought up in the science field depending on how we are able to handle them. There are some of them who they want to follow even the way we walk, the way we talk, because of how we are able to motivate them to study. So the gist of the matter is, and invite others to continue sharing the experience.
Thank you so much. I've seen some message there you will read. As the people are sharing their experiences, I also want to share with you that in my school, we are 52 teachers, and the only female science teacher is me. You can see the gap out of 52. I'm the only female teacher who is doing science. There are 11 other female science teachers, but they're in arts. So we are 12 in total, but only one science teacher in such a big school. And such are also happening in other places. Therefore, we are asking all of us, we should now not wait for the females to be the role models. Our counterparts males, please help us. Try to talk to the girl child, not leaving the boy child behind, but let us try to encourage these learners so that they take up with our science. Do you have more people who would like to share their experiences?
Hello, presenter, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
You are a little bit low, and members, I don't think are picking you very clearly.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to say that I think there was network challenge here a little. That also in my school, I'm the only female science teacher there, which can also happen in any other school. Therefore, I would request all of us, whether male or female, let's try to encourage the learner to pick up with the science so that tomorrow we don't suffer the case that we are going through this time. So we are moving on to the next slide. And all that we have been sharing about the girl child, why the enrollment is low, what can we do to see that the gap is closed. So we are coming up with a solution here. We are now looking at the gender responsive pedagogy. Gender responsive pedagogy is actually a teaching approach that actively promotes gender equality and inclusion. We are not leaving the boy child behind. We are looking at both. Gender is looking at both sexes, not only the girl child. Though right now we are putting emphasis on the girl child, but we are seeing an approach that can actively promote gender equality and inclusion. And this gender responsive pedagogy tries to break down biasness, and it ensures equitably learning. It empowers girls and boys equally to pursue their interests in STEM. Therefore, as a teacher, we need to see that all our plans caters for both. We should not be biased to one section. That science says they're supposed to be for boys, girls, you know, you don't reason ABCD, you do this. We don't need to be gender biased so that we close the gap where most of our girls were left behind. Please, let's try to help and bring the boy child together with the girl at the same level. Therefore, having looked at the approach that we can actively use to promote gender equality and inclusion, we now need to look at the strategies for a teacher. What do we do? What should one do as a teacher? We're seeing a female teacher there in a class. I think this was during COVID time where we're seeing some pupils putting on masks and so on. A teacher is trying to use a strategy that can make both the learner, whether female or the male, to feel comfortable. So what do we do? These are the things we are going to have. You will also share with us your experiences, your strategies. How do you handle your learners in a class? Are you in a single school? Are you teaching mixed school? So if you're in a mixed school, what strategies do you use to handle your learners? We have some few here. We shall expect some additions from you. Please, admin, you'll continue to share the screen. From me here, it has gone off. Is there someone hearing me? Okay, number one strategy, we need to avoid gender-biased language. We need to use gender and natural language and making assumptions about the students' abilities and based on their gender. So let's try to avoid biasness. Which language is somebody using when you are in a classroom? Do we only call names of Mel, James, Tom, and so on, and you leave the Jessicas out? So that is about gender biasness. Then we need to encourage all students to participate. And we realize here that actively call a learner by name. And when you call them, you make sure you call both. You are calling Jessica, the next should be maybe Tom, so that they all feel they are part of the class. Then we need to establish ground rules. Set clear expectations for the respectful behavior, safe space for all students to share their ideas. When you have your ground rules, everyone will own the lesson. People will feel wow, so that no one feels out of the place. Then, after setting your ground rules, provide them positive reinforcement. Offer praises, encouragements, and so on. Somebody gives you answer, thank you, and so on. These are things that we don't need to teach, but we are trying to remind ourselves that these are things we should use in our learning environment so that all the learners feel they are part of the learning. They own the lesson and they feel positive about it. Then we need to encourage hands-on activities. Most times we find girls try to run away and boys take lead in many of these activities we do in the classroom. But if you encourage the hands-on activity, we incorporate many things, experiments, special physics, all these science subjects have experiments, and we should encourage these learners actively participate. We facilitate group discussions. That will encourage students to share actively with the peers, and where somebody does not understand well, we'll try to consult. And as they participate in groups, I think this one also encourages the girl child to pick up because they'll be free to share in their group. And the group should be created in such a way that not only girls are put in the same group, we always make sure that if it is a mixed school, girls are put together with boys. This is in order to make them to pick up and have courage. Then we need to connect the students with the female role models. Now that we have been hearing from some of us that we are the only one, or we have no female staff, but if a school has one, please take your role. Make sure you are close to these female students. Bring all the students together. Please close that gap where, whether you are alone or not, let's give that connection to the students. Then we need to offer some extra support. Provide additional support to the students who need your guidance. Sometimes we give little time because we have other activities outside. And because the child may not get well in class, but when we have that additional time for this learner, who's a slow learner, who may drop out anytime, who may give up with the sciences easily, if we give this child some additional time, encouragements, and so on, close monitoring will make this learner learn the subject and will develop love definitely. So let's try to have that one of the strategies that we are going to learn to see that we bring the students to love science subjects. Then we need to encourage the STEM careers. The careers, we are going to discuss this in our career talks. Many of the schools have those career guidance days and so on. Therefore, bring in some people who have skills, who have succeeded in science, who have gone far, so that they share with the learners how they went through and how they went about. Therefore, when we use such kind of strategies, we shall be able to bring the students to love sciences. Then as we have all these strategies, what are the importances? Sometimes in your schools, we have career guidance and role models. That is what we have on the next slide. Now we're going to play a video here. I will ask members, because we say this is going to be an interactive session, you will share with us what could be some of the importances of the career guidance and role modeling to our students in the schools where we teach. Please, admin, may you play the video?
They trust in their abilities, Science courses at higher institutions of learning have been a preserve of male students, but the situation is gradually changing in favor of women. The Women in Energy program, implemented by the Electricity Regulatory Authority, aims at inspiring and motivating girls to not only trust in their abilities, but also take up their deserved space in the energy sector.
So we are here to tell them that the science, technology and engineering and math professionals are doable by women, and that we need them in the electricity supply industry to come and replace us, because we are growing. I mean, we need ladies who will come and partner and work with men to ensure that we take power to the entire country, to ensure that we fuel the industrialization and create jobs, and we contribute to the economic development, improve the welfare of society and socio-economic transformation of society.
This year, the program has been kick-started at Nabisunsa Girls School with a mentorship session.
What is happening here, young ladies, is that you're being allowed to dream. And I think as we go through our education system and, day to day, we forget to dream. And what I want to leave with you today is hold on to your dreams.
Confidence is key to success. There are so many stories that you're going to hear out there. People are going to tell you some of the things you cannot do them. Some of the things are too high for you. But you have to be confident and you have to aim high.
For some of these secondary school girls, the session was inspirational and vital in their career choices.
I'm really personally really grateful for that option that they gave us, and I pray that we have more of these sessions as the girl child, because we are always being told that the girl cannot go further, the girl, you have too much obligations, you're going to be a wife, you're going to do this, so go for something a bit less stressing. But she has proved to us that we can actually do everything and be perfect at it in the course of the day.
But with government focusing more effort on women or girl child empowerment, what then happens to the boy child?
It was a well-intended focus and plan of government, because by then the numbers of girls and women who are graduating from university as compared to boys and men were few. So the empowerment and the engendering effort of government is yielding fruits. What we need to do now is to balance, to ensure that the boy child doesn't.
Thank you so much, Admini. I want to get back to moderator, because you have some few minutes and I have 1 or 2 slides to finish. But now, what are the importances? Do we have career guidance in our schools? And if so, what do you think is going to help us to close the gap in the gender responsive? Share with us the importances of career guidance in your schools.
Thank you very much, Jesica Avako. So far, it's so good. I wanted to request that probably you could complete your presentations and then we give members time to react. I don't know how you look at it.
Fine, I have only 1 or 2 slides. Now, as we do this, the next slide is trying to show us the plans as the UPSTU Union, as a union, what plans do we have to promote STEM for girls? As a union, the leadership of the union is doing a lot through the Gender Committee and Education to see that STEM program is implemented. Number one, these are the future plans we are trying to have. The union is planning to have visible leadership by female science teachers so that that gap is closed. Then two, we also have teacher capacity building in inclusive pedagogy through workshops and online sessions. This teacher capacity building in inclusive STEM pedagogy is going to be through workshops. Like we had organized one female conference, science teachers conference, just recently here, where we had some teachers who attended, and that is going to build more, and we are going to be mentors in our regions and our schools. So that plan is there. Then these online sessions, I would also encourage that all of us will join. Those who have not been joining, please be part of the program. Then the other plan is to start up STEM clubs and mentorship programs. We can see there is some flip there. That clip was, I think, taken during that female teachers conference that was held at Tinda, Nobview. And during that time, those who attended also received the program. They went with them. We are going to have follow-up. So the STEM clubs are supposed to be established and mentorship programs. Then the union is also planning to have mentorship programs that is being led by female science teachers. And later on, we shall bring the male counterparts to support the program of mentorship. We are going to engage schools to raise awareness among parents, administrators, and the community leaders, so that the wide gap we have between the female and the boy child is closed, so that at a higher level, the entry should increase. So the union is planning to see that we have impact on ground. The intake of girl child at a higher level is increased, but the union cannot do it without you, without me. So please let us take up this actively. Let's be the mentors of our girl child together with the boy, the gender. Let's go on ground and talk to them so that the poor performance we have, especially in sciences, is improved and the intake at a higher level is increased. Thank you so much, moderator. I've given you a chance. Please allow people to give their comments. That's where I have ended. Thank you so much for giving me this hour today, and the Secretariat for organizing this session of online. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Jesica Avako, Chairperson, Gender and Women Committee, for encouraging the teachers and all the viewers we have had today in trying to see that we do role modeling to our young people who are coming on board. We have been having a big team, and allow me to first of all recognize their presence as we prepare to give our comments to the presentation that have taken place. In the House, we have been having the Deputy General Secretary of the Union, Mr. Bamutezi. You're welcome. We have also been having Mr. Bemugisha Julius, who is a National Secretary for the young people, the youth. We have been having Mr. Nasasira Elliott, who is a member of the Education Committee and one of the regional chairpersons. We have been having in the House Mr. Okello Jacob, the Vice National Treasurer of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. We are also proud to have had Mr. Tugume Benson, who is the Vice National Chairperson of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union. And I want to recognize also all the presence of the members of the union who are present here, and say that it is very important always to be here, because what we discuss every week at least has an impact. especially today's topic, which talks about motivation of the learners in the various fields that we have, especially in the science field. It becomes very paramount because this helps us to lay strategies of how we are able to help the learners. So may I at this time therefore invite anybody with comments as per today's presentation. Please, you raise up your hand and you give your comments. You are most welcome to give comments to today's presentation. Do I have anyone ready? Mr. Bamutezi, I don't see you raising up your hand, but I know there is something you'd like to say. Please unmute yourself and greet us. Hello? Is still preparing to come on. We had Madame Birunji. I don't see her again. Ladies in the house, can we hear your voice? We already heard from Madame Achira Judith Kibwata. Thank you very much for standing bold and speaking for the girls. May I welcome others who are present here. Do I have any other lady whom we haven't heard her voice in the house? Please unmute yourself and say hello.
I think some of them have left.
No, they're very busy. You know, female participants are very busy. So they give their little time only and go away to doing a performance. I'm seeing Birunji Lillian is back, please. We would like to hear your voice. Unmute yourself and say hello to us. Madame Birunji Lillian. Thank you very much. Mr. Andrew Ochain, I can see you here. Unmute yourself and greet us.
Mr. Tugume Benson is on.
Yes, I can see Mr. Ochain Andrew as, please, you unmute yourself and say something as we welcome the Vice National Chairperson to prepare and give us closing remarks for today's presentation. Yes, Andrew? You organize your position very well. Network is disturbing. Hello? Hello? Yes, please, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, please, Andrew, you're on.
Thank you so much, Madam Betty. Are you getting me?
Yes, please, go on.
Yes,
hello?
We are getting you, please.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad to be this evening on this platform also to share with you issues concerning the gender responsive pedagogy. I just want to thank you people so much. A lot has already been deliberated upon, and I wouldn't want to say anything more. We have learned a lot from each other. The issue of gender is being addressed, much as the challenges are still there, but I want to believe the issue is getting to be addressed. Much as in schools, the gaps are still there. There are female teachers in schools, especially in science, fraternity. But I want to say with this intervention, we shall have, in the long run, address the challenge. Allow me stop here. I wouldn't want to take a lot of time. I thank you so much for coming in to share with us this evening.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for always being there, participating. I don't know if we have the National Vice Treasurer, Jacob, hearing us. Please just say hello to us. Okay. If not, may I welcome the National Vice Chairperson of Uganda Professional Science Teachers Union, Mr. Tugume Benson, to greet us and give us concluding remarks. Benson, you're welcome. Can Benson hear me? Mr. Benson Tugume? Otherwise, thank you very much, members, for all your participation. We are very grateful to Madam Jesica Avako for having accepted to be a presenter today. I would like to encourage all of us to participate. If you have any topic you would like to share, the forum is open and you are always free to call and say, I want to present on ABCD. This ProDev Hour, I would like to still continue telling members that it has been organized for our continuous professional development. So different topics are going to be shared here, and when they are to be shared, please let us always participate so that we are able to lay strategies of how we can improve on our professionalism together. For this evening, I'm very happy that we have participated, and all this she has shared with us, I'm very sure is going to give us at least another step in our practice, especially as we encourage our children, especially the girls, to love the study of science. And this evening, I have greatly captured that if you are a role model, then you impact a lot in the lives of the children that you teach. Especially our girl children, they want to see someone has succeeded in a field, and that is where they get their admiration from and begin to participate actively. So let us prepare to encourage them and organize very many motivational and career talks at schools to encourage the children to always love the study of sciences. As we struggle very hard to always simplify the concepts that we teach them in class and give them the future that they will have in the study of the different projects. Catch us again next Thursday, when we shall be having another very important topic that we shall share together. This evening, I say, may God Almighty, who has given us the strength, the airtime that we have used here to this program, to continue blessing us as we go to sleep. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, please.
Bye.